Rob, maybe we'll get a few people that trash talk the Clippers because obviously they bowed out early in the playoffs in the first round. Kawhi Leonard was not available for most of the series. Yep. And they already gave him a 3-year, $152 million contract. And you know how good there's nobody denies how great Kawhi is. But you can only be great if you're available. And he just isn't. If he's able to play in the regular season, it seems like he can't get into the playoffs. And so it's a bad situation, and that could even be worse because they have to figure out what to do with Paul George and James Harden. Rob G kind of summarized their situation for us.
Yeah, it's looking really murky right now in Los Angeles because the Philadephia 76ers got a lot of money to burn. And according to multiple outlets, Paul George is priority number one for them. And according to Keith Pompey of the Philadelphia Inquirer, friend of the show,
yes,
the reason why the Sixers believe they have a good chance at getting Paul George is because the Clippers are, quote, unwilling to offer George more than the 3-year, $152 million deal they gave to Kawhi Leonard, which sounds like a lot of money, except that PG is eligible to receive a 4-year, $221 million contract from the Clippers. So the fact that they are not willing to offer him max money is making the Sixers feel like, hey, we may get a chance to steal this guy.
Rob, do I think Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, James Harden, et al., and the crew are going to lead the Clippers to a championship? No.
No. You just can't feel that way.
No. But this is a business. They opened in a new arena.
$1 billion arena, Chris. I mean,
and even, Rob, there are 30 teams in the league. Only one wins the championship. And that's not the only one that's successful. And I think the Clippers' best chance to provide some entertainment for their fans, give a little bit of hope, and be relevant like a good team, make the playoffs consistently, is to re-sign Paul George, even if it means max. And I would bring back Harden, too. Only one I'm wondering about is
I'm not
Westbrook.
doing a max contract, though. I hear you, Chris.
Why not? I mean, whatever they give him is not going to be much different. It's not going to make enough difference for them to go out and do anything, you know what I mean, like getting other good players. They're stuck because they have no draft picks. So it's not like they can say, you know what, let's go to the bottom and draft. They don't have the picks. The mistake, Rob, was Kawhi to me. If they didn't sign Kawhi, then you could start all over to some degree and at least give yourself some capital.
But you can't start all over in a brand new building. I mean, that's
why I think they go with Paul. So you rather lose him?
Yeah, I would be more apt because I would take Kawhi, and then even if it's some younger player, you got to have like somebody who's a star kind of player, Chris. But to just give Paul George a max contract of $250, I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't. And I get it. Yeah. It's a business. You got to have some names. You got to sell tickets. There'll be a newness to this where people want to experience the new arena. Chris, people always ask me, why do I go to Clippers games more than I go to Lakers games? When I buy tickets, they're cheaper. I mean, I want to see NBA basketball, but they're cheaper.
Well, they not going to be that much cheaper when they're in that new arena.
Yeah, Lakers tickets are outrageous.
Right.
I told you.
What about Hart? Like, I would bring back Paul George just for business sake. And like I said, the difference in $60 million a year versus $50 million a year,
do you have a coupon for Paul George? Is there a coupon you can use?
Is not very much. What do you think they should do with Harden?
I don't know. I'm out on Harden too. If it's
I'm out on all three of them.
But if it's a deal, Chris. But I'm not big money. Nah, no big money.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because I don't think anybody's going to offer him big money.
No, that's
Rob,
what I'm saying.
No, right. So, I mean, I'll offer him probably more than anybody else, just so I can keep him. But I agree. I mean, I don't think he has much leverage because I don't know who else wants him. Westbrook, we were talking to, I can't remember who it was yesterday. Maybe it was Funky Cold Medina. Westbrook, yeah, I bring back if I could get him for basically the same price, the $3 million or whatever. I'm not paying him big money.
Yeah,
I don't think he's got anywhere else to go either.
Right. Rob G, jump in.
I just got a question for you, Rob, because I know you're big on the blow up the Clippers, storyline here. If the Clippers do not bring back Paul George and James Harden, they will only have $15 million in cap space. So would you rather go that route and just get whoever you can get, some, I don't know, D'Angelo Russell, whatever, or try to bring all these guys back?
You might not even get him.
You probably won't, to be honest with you. But bring all those guys back and see where it goes.
Rob G, I get it. I mean, it's a terrible spot to be in, but my God, to just pour more money, more good money onto bad money. You know, it's bad in business, and at some point, you got to just decide that you have to try to do something different. That you have to try to figure out something that's going to work your way, and not just, well, we're stuck over a barrel. We have no choice. We got to pay these guys, and then they can't play, and they're hurt, and another first round exit. I mean, I get it. Arena fans, you want to sell tickets. Chris, you're right. It's a business. The other 29 teams, they got to sell tickets and have a right. Fan base and all that. Everybody's not winning, and you throw everybody out every year. You don't win. But I just, the Clippers thing has been going on for a while. It just doesn't feel good to me. And at some point, you got to make a dramatic change. And I saw it in Detroit, Chris, and it didn't work when they got rid of Chauncey Billups and they brought in Allen Iverson, and they thought Iverson was hungry for a championship to try to make it a different team. You remember they going to the Eastern Conference Finals 6 years in a row.
Yep.
They lost the last 3
they haven't
in a
been
row.
Any good since. If I remember,
and that was the end of it. So that can happen. I'm not being
that's why
naive to it.
If I had picks, Rob, I'd be with you. Now, like I said, the major mistake was Kawhi. I just don't know why in the world they did that. That was such a terrible move, and now they're gonna pay for it, because as long as you have him, then you're gonna have to kind of go for it. You know, otherwise you'll be in no man's land where you're okay, not good, not bad enough. I mean, they don't have their draft picks anyway, so there's really 2 things killing them: Kawhi's contract, and you don't have any draft picks. So in that case, Rob, I'm just like, hey, bring them back. They're gonna probably pay Ty Lue, Rob, a ton of money. See if he might be able to get blood from a turnip, and maybe have a deep run or something with these guys. But they've tried the draft route. Eventually, it worked when they got Blake Griffin. But, they went many years, Rob, with a bunch of lottery picks. Darius Miles. And
they had a ton of guys, Chris.
Like that, right. And they
had 5 lottery picks and couldn't win any games.
Yeah. So I would run it back and basically see if you can fool the fans into having hope. And so